my scrappy friends, this is Hannah with you, and today I am starting a new series called Scrapbook Back in Time, and this is a series that I thought would be fun to do because I found an old notebook that had some sketches and layouts that I started when I first started scrapbooking and when I first had my channel. So I thought, hey, wouldn't that be really fun if I went back and scrapbooked some of those first layouts that I posted, or first layouts that I was doing, or layouts that I was doing towards the beginning of scrapbooking, and see how they would be if I did them now in the style that I scrapbook. So that layout that you seen at the beginning is the one that I am going to be using first, and that is one of the layouts that I did towards the beginning. I'm not exactly sure when I made that layout. I tried to go and find it so I could actually take really nice pictures of it, but I couldn't find it, so it's probably in with some layouts that I took out of albums when I moved from Hawaii, but nonetheless, it doesn't really matter. So it is a layout that I did using one of the pictures that we had gotten done for Lonnie when she was on her Make-A-Wish trip. So she wanted to be a zookeeper for a day, and so she got to follow the zookeepers at the San Diego Zoo, and they had a photographer come and they took some really fun and nice pictures of her. There's my cat. While I was scrapbooking that weekend, both of my cats decided they wanted to come. I actually had to stop and edit the recording because she was there for quite a while, and as much as I don't mind her showing up and popping a little bit into the spread, it's kind of annoying when I can't get anything done. So now that you see me put all of those pattern papers strips on the edge, you know, now what am I doing? So on the original photo, or the original layout, I had a border, so I used blue, I think it's a blue cardstock border to edge it. And I thought, wouldn't it be fun, because Mercy Tiara has this fun like reverse border thing, and I've tried that before, but I've also done this where I put in like paper layers. I've done it a couple of different ways, but I thought, wouldn't that be really fun if I just had one paper and that would be the border? So that's what I did. Long story short, that is what I did. And so now I'm going to try to mimic some of the things that I put on the inside. So there's one big sheet, and then on the side there was like another border. So this is definitely a layout style that I don't do very often. I'm not very linear like this anymore. And I think it was just I was learning how to scrapbook back then, which is totally fine. But I really love how now I can go back and look at something that I did and kind of switch it up. So I'm going to take that idea of the different sections that were in the middle, because there was some different layered sections, and some went all the way across, which is what that one squirrely paper from One Canoe 2, that one goes down further, and I believe I had another one go down on the other side, but I really didn't like that, and I didn't see how that was gonna fit with how I do things now. I just thought that separated things. So it's interesting because I can go back and look and see, oh, these are the mistakes that I made before with design. And these are things that matter or don't matter, or these are things that I should keep because that's how it was. You know, so instead of having two sections, like two edges basically for that middle section, I just have one. So you have that big yellow and pink paper from Heidi Swapp, and then you have the One Canoe 2 paper on the edge. Now, I am going to switch where I put the title. I am using 2 photos instead of 1, and this set of photos are going horizontal instead of vertical. The picture that I used originally was vertical, and I had a whole bunch of mats and stuff, and I'm not gonna do that, which is fine. Now, I did want to add one other strip because there was, I think, another strip somewhere, you know, just in between the 2 different pattern papers. So I am going to put one. I thought about using that one with the pink and the green, but I wasn't sure I wanted to add that much green because that border paper is from Stampin' Up, and that did not, I don't think it had any green. It had pink and like some whites and yellows. So, which is why I picked that Heidi Swapp paper. Now, also on the original layout, there was some little frames. That was when Crate Paper was doing like frames like crazy, right? So, or the start of frames. I guess I shouldn't say the start of frames because I wasn't really scrapbooking that much back then. So everything was new and newer. But I decided that I wasn't going to do frames. One, because I couldn't remember where a lot of the frames that I've had, because I don't use them very often now. So I decided, hey, tags would be really fun. And I'm going to attach those with a tiny attacher. And I figure I can do my little clusters, because I did clusters around and in those frames. So I'm going to use those as my base for like some clusters. I also had another like cluster thing. It was actually a lion that I bought like digital elements that I could print off and use. Like I said, this was when I first started scrapbooking and I didn't have a lot of stuff. So I did utilize some of that kind of stuff. I'm not sure where I found it, so I can't even give them credit. I don't know. But yeah, so I will have something down like underneath the photo to kind of mimic that. I also had like some flag stuff hanging out down there, and I decided not to do that. So I have that little cluster there, and I'm going to use that to build another little, you know, to have a little cluster. So also I had around the photo, so I didn't have that. I had one paper bordering the photo, and then I had like a mat that was also one of those printable things that looked like fabric-y stuff. So, which actually, if I had had that kind of material, I would so love to use that because that would have been really fun. But I didn't. So I'm using some vellum, and on that paper, it looked like there was ribbon with some buttons on it. So I'm going to mimic that by putting that glitter stuff from Dear Lizzie, and I'm going to use these butterflies. So I also cut out some more butterflies from a collection of Claudia's from Pretty Little Studio. I think it was Pretty Little Studio put it out, but Claudia was the designer. And the paper had all these like watercolor butterflies. They're really pretty. And there was pink and like some different color blues. And one of the color blues was more like a teal. So that's where the teals are kind of getting brought in, because I do have a little bit of that color in some of my layers and stuff. And I thought the butterflies would be fun because this is a photo of my cat Mako, and he loves anything outside. He is not an outside cat. He does not go outside. But whenever he sees stuff in the window, he is so there. And on that day, I happened to have the window open a smidge and the light's coming through, and he's just sitting there, and he so wanted to be outside. So yeah, so and those photos are basically the same photo, but one photo enhances the way the light is coming in, and I thought that would be really fun. So, which is why when I layered it, it didn't matter to me that they kind of overlapped quite a bit. And so here we are working on these side clusters, and I had something round on the one side, and I really felt like I needed something. So I went looking through my stash, and of course, it's like a rabbit trail. you know, squirrel trail, really, not even rabbit trail. I don't even know what a rabbit trail. Anyway, it was like a squirrel trail because I had to look through tons of stuff to find something around. Eventually, I found something from crepe paper from a gazillion years ago. And it was a fan, and I'm like, well, I think I might be able to make this work. So I cut it, and it had yellow. It actually was a perfect color. And so I used some circle wood button elements. I found this Let's Wander. I thought that was really cute. I found another circle-y element in chipboard that had some more of that tealy color. So just a few pops of those, right? And then I found some buttons because on that original layout there was buttons. And I really want to pay homage to that layout because, I mean, I wouldn't be the scrapbooker I am today if I didn't do these things that I did before. Like I said, I have no idea if I did that layout all on my own or if I found a sketch or not. Thankfully, some of the layouts that I did originally, I had a notebook where I kept a lot of like where I found them and stuff like that. So hopefully I can find even the originals of some of them because that would be really fun. And if I made a layout on, and I will look because I don't think I was filming back then though when I did this other one, but I will look and see if I have videos for any of the other layouts that I do. So now I'm working on the title, and here are some Paige Evans Pink Paisley alphas. They're super fun, and even though not all the colors, because there's some green on there, so it brings in some green, but that's okay. I'm overall, I'm okay with that. So I'm gonna spell, or the title is gonna be Open the Windows, or the window, and like, so Open the Window, Let's Wander, basically is the title, but it's really just Open the Window. So I use that gold. That kind of brings in some of the gold from the tag that you see, and the that other pink thing had some gold, but it's not, it's like a matte gold. So I do have to move this window, the part of the window over, which is fine. I mean, I really didn't want to cover that much of that photo, but in the end, it worked out okay. It just, didn't know where else I was going to put window. I would have had to put it down at the bottom or something. And in the original, I had the title off going up and down on the other side, but there was no space. It's amazing how you lose space when you use a photo, just even in a different angle, because really I just use the photo. It's basically a 4x6 because it's 2 3x4s, but because I put it horizontal instead of vertical, it really did change. So here are some close-ups. At the very end, you're going to see the original layout again. So I hope you guys enjoy this little fun series that I'm wanting to do. I thought it would be a fun little way to spark my creativity and get some mojo going on in my scrap room by doing some old stuff. But I had a fun time like changing things up and doing it different. So I'll see you guys later, and I hope you have a really scrappy week. Bye.